Hello. So, the little corner of the internet, which I may or may not be a part of, it's like, how do you know? How do you know? And I have to check my phone because I'm about to do lunch with Daddy, trademark, lunch with Daddy. But they're talking about like Christian civilization and culture, which I'm excited about because this is what I was interested in when I first came to, Paul VanderKlay and the Discord server connected to him. And I was a little too excited years ago, and I got kicked out of their Discord server because they weren't ready to actually try to model a way of being at a large scale. And that's what I'm hearing. If you're talking about Christian civilization and Christian culture and Christian nationalism, that means that people are becoming more interested in trying to model a way of being which scales from the personal, from the family, the community, the city, the state, and the nation. And yeah, I've been waiting for this, and I don't even know if anybody wants to talk to me about it, but I'll talk. I'll share thoughts. What's important, I did this thing called Government Club in high school, and it's things like that that we should participate in. If we want to model the way of being in which it scales from the personal all the way up to the highest, we can do that. We need to practice. And in our modern world, we don't have a lot of opportunities to practice. I've looked into trying to become a candidate to get on a ballot, through political parties and not, and it's about ridiculous. So even that process, which prohibits the experimentation, is a process within a thing called government, which we can say, hey, this isn't good, and we need to experiment with a different process. So like Paul VanderKlay connected to a Discord server. Well, is there a head? Because there was, and it was Paul VanderKlay's friend who he wasn't willing to try and give him commands. And the head was someone who didn't get voted or anything like that, and wasn't, depending on who you ask, he was or was not qualified to one degree or another. And, having a bad head is better than having no head at all in some cases. But how do you figure out the decision-making process within a community? And it's like, how do I figure it out within this head? How do I figure it out with my wife and children and the family? How do I figure it out as part of a community where we might have like HOAs, or we might be part of a club? We might have different organization, mission, and rules and laws. And then how do we figure it out larger and larger scales? I'm interested in playing that game. If you are interested in playing that game too, then you should try to get in touch with me. YouTube comments won't be enough. YouTube can't be trusted. If you might be able to put a comment and say, hey Gavin, I'm interested. But if you go and start writing a comment that has words like enemy or words like war, YouTube's going to filter that comment. They have a list of words that cannot be said. It's kind of like in Harry Potter, it's he who must not be named. And so be careful with your words in the YouTube comments, because they have their own rules as a part of their organization. So, get connected, email, cell phone numbers, Discord servers. Those are ways to get better connected where you don't just depend on YouTube. And this is me explaining how you do it. It's like, how does a community come together? Well, whether you're going and meeting people out in the world or via some internet platform, eventually there has to be a swapping of contact information so that we can contact each other. And what I find is a lot of the communities on the internet they're very like hyper focused on a few things, and they aren't interested in governing and government processes. So, you know, I think we need a government club. We need a club. We need people who are interested in playing with government, with the real goal of creating a nation, creating a city, creating a community, creating families. I mean, that's what we really need. So I'm interested in talking about these topics. I don't know how many people are actually interested in this conversation. I'll ping Paul Vanderklay and Luke Thompson, and who, I mean, are they wanting to have a real conversation about this? Are they wanting to talk about something else, like describing the problems without actually talking about solutions which we can be a part of, where we are the truth, life, and way, in which we try to model the right way of being at the personal level, family level, community level, city, state, and nation, and hopefully eventually whole world. I want to talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about this for years. Very interesting to me. So, hope you'll have a good one. About to go do lunch with Daddy. Bye-bye.